Welcome everyone to our gentle yoga class at home. Please sit upright on your chair. Feel your awareness down into the base, the sit bones, the buttocks and thighs on the seat. And just do some small testing if you were to gently move off upright just by a few degrees, forwards and back, and a few degrees to the side and the left and the right. And then find the central upright supportive position where there's least load on your back muscles. And let your head be centered above the sit bones. And take a few breaths. Feel yourself to be grounded and anchored and safe. And feel the expansion as you inhale. The release as you deflate the lungs. A few slow, easy breaths, but fully tuned in to observing and noticing all these small movements. Can you feel your upper back moving, your rib cage expanding? It's like a pulsation with each breath. And then we'll bring our palms together and we'll say our invocation once. So press the palms and take a breath. Oh. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we create strength and abundance. May we work together with great vigor. May we grow in clarity, wisdom, and peace. And then allow your hands to rest on your knees. Do a couple of shoulder shrugs, so pulling forward and up to squeeze around the ears, squeezing the neck. So there might be a little undulation in the spine, but I'm aiming to free up the shoulder movements. Then we're going to work with our hands. So let's begin with extension. So push the hands out in front, palms out in front with wrists extended, and then exhale, fold downwards. Work on this wrist joint. Extend and flex. Inhale, exhale, extend and flex. And then interlock your fingers and we'll do this rolling wrist flossing action, similar extension and flexion, but with a smooth rhythmic action. But keep your shoulders relaxed. They might move as well. You're supporting through the abdominal muscle below the navel. And then take a breath in, lift the hands up in front of your throat, and then push out in front as you exhale. Pull the belly in and inhale inwards to the throat. Exhale, push out. Firm the abdomen. Do that in your own time. One more. So we're extending the fingers as well as the wrists. And then rest again and shake out. Vigorously flap your wrists up and down, side to side, palms up, palms down. Every sort of loosening action. Getting a bit of blood circulating into the wrists and fingers, and then squeeze in a fist and inhale, spread. Do that lots of times. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze tight. And then we're going to play that old game. Do you remember rock, paper, scissors that you probably played as a child? So the action for rock is to squeeze your hand in a fist and fist to the thighs. The action for paper is to spread your hand out flat and press the hands to the thighs. And for scissors, we're holding our hands in front with the first two fingers spread. And then after that, we're going to make a snap. You're going to snap your fingers. Remember how to do that? Snap. So let's go again. Rock, hands on thighs in a big, strong fist. Spread for paper. Palms flat on your legs. Scissors, hands in the air with your first two fingers apart. And then flick. Can you flick both hands? Okay, we're going to do it faster. Rock, paper, scissors, snap. Rock, paper, scissors, snap. So keep going. Paper, scissors, snap. We're just getting our neurons all connecting together. Rock, paper, scissors, snap. And then flick each finger in turn. So flick, 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 and flick your thumb and circle your thumbs. So I'm conscious that a little arthritis is creeping into my wrists and thumbs. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it's happening for others. So we're all doing some wrist and hand work. Let's go again, a bit faster. Rock, paper, scissors, snap. Rock, paper, scissors, snap. Rock, paper, scissors, snap. Rock, paper, scissors, snap. Shake and flap your hands. And I'll just let you know that, if you are getting a bit of difficulty with dexterity, one of these squashy balls from Big W or that, cheap Chinese shop, excellent for maintaining flexibility and strength in your fingers and hands. No doubt pianists like Helen Swan would know all about this sort of thing. Maintaining the flexibility of hands and wrists is really important. Let's continue to work in the chair. Helen Hall, this may not suit you. We're just going to take a sit-stand action. So I'm going to cross my arms in front and stand up and sit down. So this is a very basic strengthener for thigh muscles, protective for knee joints. So see how you go. If Helen Hall, if you're thinking, I won't do that today, then that's fair enough. Other people, we're rising up, sitting back down. And, depending on the height of your chair, if your chair is rather low, it's going to be harder. If your chair is like an upright dining chair, then this is an excellent starting point for leg strength. Let's do two more. And then sit back down, shake out the legs. And another chair practice that we could do would be to stand around behind the seat of the chair. I'm going to do a small squat. So I can't really see. So I've got my hands on the back of the seat and thinking to stand up tall in Tadasana, and without changing my back at all, drop into a gradual squat and rise up, and then lift up heels and work the calves. So all the while with support, keeping your back long with the natural curves, down into a squat, and then lift up heels. So try a few of those. Of course, you can let go the support if you don't need it. Perhaps to lift the heels, it would be useful. Strength and efficiency of our thigh muscles is really an important part of our mobility and steadiness. And here we're giving the calf muscles a bit of a contraction. And in the squat, the calf muscles are lengthened. So try a few more of those. Just keep that in mind as part of your repertoire for staying strong. And then come back to stand. If you like, give a little easy rotation. And we'll do a balance standing with the support of the chair. So I'm going to just rest one hand on the back of the chair. Take outer hand to the hip, lift one knee. Maybe your heel is resting on the other leg. Just gently draw yourself up tall and engage the contraction and support around the hip of the standing leg. Maybe you can let go of the chair and release down and center your weight over 2 feet once again. Just getting the position of your feet so they feel like a steady base. Your hips are directly above, standing up tall in Tadasana. And then we'll take it on the other side. So I'm going to stand on my left leg. And straight away, I have to engage the hip muscles. Lift up the right knee. Release the chair if possible. And let it go. Come back to Tadasana. Give a little shake, relieve any tension, and we'll do that again. So balance. Choose your form of the balance, with or without support. Turn it into a tree pose. There are some amazingly beautiful trees in my street. Scarlet, well, just a beautiful scarlet red maple trees across the road. And my robinia is turning sort of butter yellow. Take it on the other side. Fix your gaze. So choose one spot just to hold your eyes very still, with or without support. For a moment, immerse yourself in the enjoyment of the beauty of autumn. Go. Gentle release. Kati Chakrasan, or any other movement to shake out your legs, shake out your hips. And while we have a chair here, I'd like to show you a seated version of warrior pose, which, sometimes you just want to go quietly with the help of a chair. So I'm Hope you can see this. So I'm going to sit on the seat and turn sideways. So I can hold onto the seat with my right hand and the left leg stretches out at the back. So already I'm feeling that through the inside thigh of the left leg, there's a lengthening. And then I reach this left arm back with the thumb pointing down, and then slowly bring the arm through in a big sweep and lift the head and look up. And then slowly go back to the starting point. So there's a powerful stretch, especially through the left side of the body, but all the while I'm supported. So this is a chair version that you might like to try sometimes. Sweeping up, looking up, long through the left side of the chest. And then chin drops down. I look back towards that left arm. One more, sweep up. There's a gradual, strong stretch, but I feel safe and stable. Looking back, and then square up once again. Maybe shake out the legs and the hips. Just sit for a moment. Notice how you feel. Compare the two sides of the body. That's quite a strong action. If you are looking for something, let's take a simpler one now. Stay seated in the chair and simply bring your right leg forward and then put the foot back on the floor. So you have support holding onto the seat, and then bring your left foot forward, draw the belly in, and then back to the floor. This time we'll lift the knee a little. The right knee lifts off the floor, off the seat, and come back down. And next time, left knee lifts a little. Maybe it's only tiny, back down to the floor. Let's do that little sequence once again. Bring your right foot forward, firm the abdomen, sit up tall. Even though it's a small movement, it requires quite a few muscle groups. Now left foot comes forward. Feel the lower body engaging. Foot back to the floor. Then we shall lift the knee up in the air. Press the left foot down while the right knee is lifting. And release. Then the other side. Left knee lifts, right foot firm into the floor. And let it go. And come back and just gently roll inward. So releasing the back. I've got my hands between my knees. My lower back feels long. Take a breath and reach around. I'm going to put my hands in fists and massage over the lumbar region. So I'm using the backs of my hands, circling around. Feels quite nice. Pause for a moment, sit up tall, rest. And then we'll do the seated warrior 2 on the other side. So I'm going to swing around, this time with my left knee bent, right leg extended out behind. So I'm right on the front edge of the seat, sitting sideways. And then I reach back with the right arm and the thumb is pointing down. And then inhale, I sweep up, lift up very tall and look up. And exhale, lower the arm, sweep it back behind. And go slowly. I could hold on to the seat or hand on the front knee. Slow sweep. Head is turning. I look back as the arm sweeps back. Once again. So moving the arm through the shoulder joint, looking up and sweeping back down. And then return to symmetry. Give a little jiggle. If you're into flexing the spine, maybe not you, Helen. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, chin to chest, pull in below the navel. Helen, hold. You might do a very minimal, subtle version. See how subtle you can make this. We'll all do a very subtle version. So instead of very strong, vigorous undulations, then make it so that you can sense what the different muscle groups are doing. So as I bring my chest forward, I realize the neck muscles contract to lift the chin. And I'm pulling my shoulders back just a little. And then the action moves to the belly, so below the navel and pelvic floor. As a result, the lumbar lengthens. So let's work with that. Slow, very careful. So you're exploring what's possible and where your limits are. Slow enough so that you feel into every muscle action. Here I can feel my upper back is very broad. My lower belly is firm and pelvic floor switched on. And then I begin the inhale. And it's like an opening up, an expansion right up into the top of the chest. But it's so slow and mindful. So I'm controlling it, keeping it within a smaller range, but with each little movement, my mind is fully connected. And after you've completed that exhalation, just rest with your hands on your knees. Easy breath. Then we'll come to stand and do similar movements. They will be movements that we've done already. They'll be squats and leg work. If you'd prefer to stay working with your chair, that's fine. If you're ready to venture onto your mat freestanding, then do that. So I'm going to do some squats. Squatting with your hands on the back of the chair is very helpful and valid leg strengthener. I'm going to do it without my chair this time. I can't really, so I have to change the, I think that's better. So stand up tall in Tadasana. If you're using a chair, hands are resting on the seat, on the back of the chair. If you're standing, freestanding on the mat, take cactus arms and then squat. Take your awareness to the muscles above your knees, middle of your thighs, and the buttocks. And then release arms down, stand up tall, lift up through the crown of the head. Again, cactus arms or higher if you prefer. If you're ready to go into a more challenging position, arms up to the ceiling, keeping knees behind toes as you squat. A few breaths. Release arms down, push feet into the floor, stand up very tall. Let's all rise up on toes, perhaps arms to the ceiling, or you might have hands on the back of the chair. Lift your heels. And down into a squat again, cactus arms or holding this chair. Knees behind toes, down to the floor. Couple of breaths. And then release arms down, press feet in, draw up tall. And shake out the legs. We take a little side bending. So we're keeping the trunk straight, moving from the hip joints. So maybe place your hands over your hips so you can feel the action of hips going to one side, shoulders to the other. You can feel the movement around this joint. When your hands are right over the joints, if you wish, raise the upper arm and lengthen. And exhale, let it go. To the other side. So always taking care of your own state, your own condition today. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll turn the right foot out, do the same lateral bending movement. So I'm going to inhale, lift the left arm, and then continue the lateral movement. Right hand comes to the inside of the right leg, and I release down. Let's do that one more time. So the right foot is turned out, left heel pushed away a little. And inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, tilt to the right. Very stable and strong through the left thigh, left hip, left glute, and release. Feet facing forwards now. Let's take little tiny subtle hip circles. And massage behind. So hands reaching around, massage over that lumbar region. And then we'll turn the other way. So our left foot spins out, right heel goes back a bit. And the action is again to tilt over the leading leg. So I'm going to inhale, lift my right arm. Exhale, tilt to the left. And release. And we'll do that once again. Inhale, right arm lifts to shoulder level. Exhale, tilt. You could stay here for a few breaths. And engage the muscles around the support, the rock solid right hip joint, glute, right thigh. And then inhale, lift. Move your feet so they're both facing front. Little hip circles. So we've awakened all the muscles around the hip joints, the legs, the thighs. Let's come again into a balance. So take your chair handy if you prefer. So we'll start standing on the right leg. And now that you're fully aware of the strength of the muscles around the right hip and the thigh. Challenge yourself into the balance. You could maintain your connection with the chair or release it and stay tall and strong. Eyes raised, so looking slightly above the horizon. Shoulder and chest open. Squeeze the muscles of your right glute, right thigh, all around the hip joint. And release both feet down. Very small, subtle hip circles, or stronger ones if you want. Shake out the legs if you like. Jiggle and loosen so that nothing is held tight any longer. So let's do the second side. This is the challenge for me, my left hip. How's it today? It's pretty good today. So I'm lifting the right leg. Let go of the chair. My eyes are raised, like a view of optimism and hope, positivity. And consciously firm around the left glute, left thigh, all around the hip joint. And release, feet to the floor. Make any movements at all that would make you feel comfortable. Now just take your right hand to your left shoulder and squeeze that shoulder, work up into the neck. Right hand squeezing all around the left shoulder. Feel the quality of the trapezius there at the angle. And now press firmly down to your right hip. Close your eyes and feel. Second side, left hand squeezing, kneading, pummeling all around the neck, top of your shoulder. And then press across and down to the hip and close your eyes and feel. Again, right hand now, fingers and thumb, working into the tone of that muscle, upper trapezius, work up into the neck. So fingertips pressing in, kneading, base of the skull, side of the neck, squeeze of the upper arm. So the deltoid muscle there. And then come to the top of your shoulder, press firmly down to your right hip. Close your eyes and feel. Feel everything sort of linking up and connecting. Clarifying the connectivity. Let's take left hand to the right shoulder. It's as though we're connecting our body more securely to the cerebral hemispheres of the brain. Today's paper, the Australian I read, there was an article about celebrations of the completion of the overland telegraph line, you know, linking Adelaide with Darwin. So this was a breakthrough in the communication across our country. So instead of, you know, taking 7 weeks for sending something to Darwin, it now took 7 minutes to send a telegraph. And then from there was a link across the ocean to Singapore. So that was 150 years ago, and it revolutionized communication. So we're making secure links between our brain and our body. Squeeze the upper arm and then top of the shoulder and press down to your left hip. And open your eyes wide. And then swivel your eyes to the far right. So you're using peripheral vision. The head faces front, but you're just testing how far can you see to the right, and come back to the front, and then swivel your eyes to the left. Do that again. Eyes front, don't move your head, just your eyeballs. Far right and full front. Far left, full front. Then do a little palming. Rub your palms together till they're very warm. And then softly over your eyes. Relax the eye muscles. And we'll turn it into a triple warmer smoothie. Bring your fingers into the middle of your forehead. Elbows are high. And pressing and pulling outwards down to the temples, and then circle around behind your ears. Massage the base of your skull, and then clasp your hands, your fingers spread all around your throat, and take a deep breath in. Then slide hands down to the heart, and a deep breath in. Let's do another little sequence of 3 squats followed by a balance. So we're really working on strength of thighs and our ability to use our knees. So let's take a different arm position. We're going to clasp behind the back. Mindful to keep your knees behind the line of your toes. Take a breath in. Squat down. So the spine is long. Curves. Yeah, lower abdomen. And then take the arms to the side. Gradually lift your torso up. Stretch up to the ceiling. And release arms down. And we'll do that once again. Clasp behind with the other clasp. So other hand on top. Inhale. Squat. So your bottom's well back. So not poking forward of your toes. And then sweep the arms out to the side, lift up to the ceiling. Look up. Exhale one more time. Interlock your hands again. Not your usual habit, the other way. Squat down very low. And move to the right foot. So just lift the weight a little off your left heel. Very strong, all the way from the right foot through the right knee, thigh, hip, right side of the belly. And then come to the center and we'll shift over to the left. So right heel lifts a little. The whole left foot firm at the floor. Your left ankle, your knee, left thigh, glute, left side of the abdomen. And then both heels down, reach the arms out slowly, rise up overhead, lengthen and lift, and let it go. Let your arms release down, float your shoulders around in a shrug. Now we're going to do a little energy medicine movement called tracing the radiant circuit. So hands come to the pubis, the bone right down the base of your belly. And we're going to trace up to the navel, then out to the sides, through the little gap between hip bone and rib, so you can feel those close together. And then continue tracing down the back to your tail. And then retrace, come up through the little space down to the pubis. So firm pressure. We'll do that 2 more times. Tracing up and down to the tail at the back. And then up over the sacrum, between the bones and down to the pubis. Last one. Just feel the effect of soothing around the belly and flattening it down over. So your backs of your hands are flattening over the pelvis, sacroiliac joints, and then up again, trace through the space and come down to the pubis. And just relax your shoulders. And now we're tracing a heart shape up the front. So the midline, out and around the breasts, and coming down to that heart-shaped point. Next time your heart might be a little larger. So right out to the arms and a bit lower, and a third heart shape. So make it as large as you like. Sides of the chest and reaching down. And then we'll lift and spread and look out to something larger, something beyond your own little personal sphere, beyond your home and family. Look out into the wider universe. Let it move through you. Take in the energy of the universe. And then release the arms down. Little shoulder shrug. And please move down or make yourself comfortable in Shavasana. And let me show you an ideal setup. If I were planning to have 15 minutes of sheer relaxation, this is what I'd do. I would make sure that I had support under my knees, and a bolster is fine, or say 2 plump cushions from the lounge. And I would make sure I had something under my neck. So I've just rolled up my blanket. So the neck is quite supportive, so that my neck and spine are in straight alignment. And then I'm going to make sure that the bolster is going to be in a good spot. So even if you don't have a bolster or cushions handy, simply position your feet sufficient distance away so that your legs feel completely at rest. So what we're doing is positioning the body for maximum flow of prana. When the spine is well supported, maybe you want a blanket under your spine as well, if it's a hard floor. Having maybe a rolled towel is good underneath the neck, a little support under the head so that your forehead is just slightly higher than your chin. And in this position, there's no restriction to the flow through the body. We want to allow the life force to have clear flowing access everywhere. So it's really important that you have the props that you know will make you comfortable, and you have them handy for each yoga class. I teach a class, just by way of aside, I teach a class in the home of a couple in which the husband is a paraplegic, so he's in a wheelchair. And recently they made a big change, took the carpet out of the bedroom, or took the carpet out of the room where we have the class, so that the wheelchair would move freely over the smooth floor. So the carpet's been replaced with some sort of hard flooring. It's very hard. So we have to make total change for the wife when she comes down into kneeling positions, tabletop, or for Shavasana, just because the floor is so much harder and it's just not as comfortable. So, we have to build that in to make sure the props are right so that she gets the full benefit of the Shavasana. So now that you're comfortable, release down into the floor. And relax the tongue in the floor of your mouth. And imagine that you're breathing from your heart. Just let your breath arise from the heart chakra. And slow your breathing down. Take conscious control. It might take you a few breaths to slow it down to 6 seconds to breathe in and 6 seconds to breathe out. So closely watching your breath, feeling it come and go from the heart. It's very smooth and slow. And your physical body is supported and comfortable. Your tongue is soft in the floor of the mouth. Visualize a large empty space in your hands. And visualize a large empty space in your feet. And your tongue is soft. The jaw is relaxed. And your in-breath takes 6 seconds. Your out breath, 6 seconds. You're breathing in and out from your heart. And then visualize from the universe receiving a bolt, a blast, a surge of energy direct into your heart. A surge of vibrant, healing energy, loving, healing energy comes into your heart. It seems to vibrate, reverberate, and it has a particular lively color. What color does it feel for you? Surging around your heart and merging outwards into the chest, into the belly. Be aware of the feeling in your chest around your heart of uplifting and regenerative energy. Filling you with warmth and the knowledge of your own healing power, your own capacity to heal. And then from your own heart, send a beam of that healing energy out to somebody else, to somebody in particular in your life, or to a special place, or maybe to a pet. Offer your healing energy to somebody else. Someone that makes you feel wonderful. Somebody that you would like to help to feel wonderful. Our yoga practice is a powerful powerful practice for individual healing and self-growth. And when we feel those benefits, what else can we do but share it with someone else to show, to extend how yoga makes us feel in our lives, offer that to someone else in some form or other. So mentally, you have someone in particular in mind that you would like to offer the benefits of yoga to. The same knowledge of personal healing capacity, of individual growth. And then bring that beam of energy back inside yourself once again. So restore it back into your heart space. As though now at Anahata chakra, that warmth and energy is safely protected back in its little private grove or cave or special place where you keep your heart energy. And still your in-breath takes 6 seconds. And your out-breath, 6 seconds. And your tongue is soft in the floor of the mouth. And look inside for your supply of vitamin J. Vitamin J for joy. So even when things are not so easy in your external world, or particularly when they're going smoothly and freely in your own personal world, at all times we have this little kernel of joy. And when we sort of look inside and notice it's still there, and then we can bring it out and let it express more obviously in our lives. So rather than being overwhelmed or anxious or sad, find that little inner spark of joy and let it grow inside and express itself in your heart. So if you're ready to take a little gentle movement, do some rocking and rolling, a couple of stretchy breaths. Move in any way that makes you feel revitalized. And then come to sit. I'll change the view once again. I have a little quote from the Dalai Lama for you. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama at Dharamsala in India. We are meant to live in joy every day and each moment. We are able to create and recreate our lives and the very quality of the life on this planet. This is the power that human beings wield. We are meant to live in joy. Sometimes in some parts of the world in particular, joy seems to be very hard to find. So we have to do our little bit to grow the feeling in our own small environment. And if each one of us did that, perhaps the ripples would move out, the understanding that human beings have the power to shape the world. That's painfully obvious. And so please exert your understanding of how to live a good life and let that joy and knowledge of your own power ripple outwards in your own circle. I'll read it to you again. We are meant to live in joy every day and each moment. We're able to create and recreate our lives and the very quality of the life of human life on this planet. This is the power that human beings wield. We are meant to live in joy. So your intention today is to retain and spread the joy. Thanks for sharing our class. Om Shanti.